C has two sounds. Vowels are described as being long and short. Vowels are long and short. They're the only letters that get that description. Long and short are only associated with vowels. C and G are the only letters that get to be described as hard and soft. Vowels are long and short. C and G are hard and soft. So we're going to talk about G on Wednesday, but today we're going to just focus on that C. So it's hard sound, sounds hard. It's where your tongue, the back of your tongue kicks off against the back of your throat and it sounds like a K. K. There's no there's no vocal cords being used. There's no sound coming out. It's only air. It's a voiceless sound. K. That's the hard sound. It sounds hard because it's making that hard strike against the back of your throat. Okay, the soft sound sounds soft. As a matter of fact, it sounds like the first sound in soft. It sounds like an S. So remember that it's only air. There's no vocal cords being used, so it's not sa, it's not s, it's not sa. There's no sound. Only air, just s for the soft sound. So hard is k, soft is s. Both are voiceless. Now, how to know when to spell using those? Reading is a lot easier than spelling. You probably already knew that because it's really easy to recognize when to read a C as soft or hard. It's going to be based on the next letter. If it is an E, I, or Y after a C, then it's going to make a soft sound. So for reading in the next half hour, if you're over there, it's going to seem a lot easier than this class today. Because in reading, you just have to recognize that if C has an E, I, or Y after it, it's going to make a soft sound. But for spelling, you have two choices. You can spell a word S-E, like in sell, or C-E, like in sell. The first one is we're going to sell some furniture. The second one is don't let me forget my cell phone. And it's not easy to know when to use which. But here's the pattern that is most consistent. The default is SE. SE is going to be the most common. Today we're going to use only CE. So today you never have to worry if it's an S or an E. A C. It's only going to be CE. That's what we're going to be working on today. Or the same goes with I or CY. We're going to be doing a lot of CE today. So when you see a word with a CE or a CI or a CY, it's most often a Latin root word that you're working with. It's going to be, you're going to see like a CENT, like century, a CEL, like cellulose. You see a CER, like certain, or a CEI, like ceiling. Those are Latin root words. Most of the time you're going to see a SE. But not in today's class. Today we're going to be working with CE a lot. I'm going to not give you any words with CI or CY in this lesson because they can be used interchangeably, and it would be impossible to know if the word is spelled CI or CY because Y acts as exactly like an I. There's no way to know if it's a Y or an I. So we're going to focus on, there's a lot of other reading rules that we're going to reinforce today. So it's not going to be easy. But if you're wondering if it's an S or a C, it's going to be a C. Okay, and if you're wondering if it's an E or an I, it's going to be an E. We're going to do a lot of CE today. So let me share my screen. All right, our first word to do together. Oh, I didn't really tell you much about the hard sound. So the soft sound of C is going to come if the next letter is an E, I, or Y, right? This you just have to kind of, to remember E, I, Y, you just kind of have to put it into like a little chant or something that puts it into a different part of your brain so that it turns into a memorable sequence of letters. When I have my young ones, we do a little cheer. We do E, I, Y, E, I, Y, and it just kind of gets that rhythm and sound into their brain so that they can recall what the three letters are easily. So you can come up with whatever you want. A chant is a good idea, some sort of rhythm, so that you can remember E, I, Y are the three letters that have to come after a C for it to make it soft sound. Any other letter. Now, this is what I see being taught incorrectly sometimes by well-meaning teachers. Sometimes they will say, if a C has an E, I, or Y after it, it's going to say S. But if it has an O or an A after it, it's going to say K. What they are missing is that it can also be an L or an R or any other letter of the alphabet. As long as if it is any letter other than one of these three, it's going to make its hard sound. So if there are 26 letters of the alphabet and a C can make its hard sound 23 of those times, then it's definitely the most common sound of C, right? 23 out of 26 times that C is going to make its hard sound. Only these 3 times it's going to make its soft sound. All right, that was a bit of a deep dive, but we needed it just to, well, I promised you a deep dive into C and G. And I want you to understand the why of everything. So our first word together is clompo. Clompo. Sounds k, o, a, m, p, o. Consonants. K, m. I think I have so many little things I want to teach you, but I think it's in September that I'm going to teach you when to use a C, when to use a K, and when to use a CK, because all 3 of these things make the same sound, and they all 3 have a reason of when to use them that you are going to eat up. You're going to love it, but this is a big lesson, okay? Because it's a doozy to know which one to use. It's consistent and you can count on it. It's just a little bit of a lengthy explanation. I'm excited to teach it to you, but that's next month. But for today, whenever you hear k, I want you to spell it with a C. So our consonants in clompo are k, o, a, m, p, o. Vowels. Ah, we always start with the most common, which is a short O. Can it make it short sound here? Yes, because of the tab 2 rule. 2 consonants come after it. O at the end is often spelled with just a single O. Clompo. Okay, so your word is crotto. Wait, before you spell that, how would I have spelled cloppo? Could I have spelled it this way? If I wanted this to be cloppo, I could not, because now this O has another vowel 1 or 2 doors down that would make it say clopo. If I want ah, then it needs 2 consonants after it. Short vowels need 2 consonants after it. That will help you with this word. Your word is crotto. Crotto. K-r-a-t-o. Crotto. And then please put that in the Q&A for me so I can see how you're doing. Crotto. Good, Anne-Marie. Crotto. Ah is usually going to be spelled with a short O. That's going to be your default for ah. Nice, Ribbon. Good, Teresa. Crotto. And that ah, in order for it to be short, must have 2 consonants after it. Right? Feel free to change your answer. Crotto. Okay, so our consonants for crotto are k, r, a, t, o. Crotto, ah. I want this to say ah. Can it say ah here? It cannot. because there's a vowel in the next one or two spots. That would force it to say its long sound O. I don't want it to say O, I want it to say ah. Ah is a short vowel sound, and short sounds require two consonants after them. If there's not two, make two. Now it's nice and happy and can say ah in that spot. O at the end is often spelled with just a single O. Crotto. I knew it. I knew you could do it. Okay, number 2. Together, let's do sentinto. Sentinto. We have s, my mouth is open right there. T, another open mouth. T, o. Sentinto. S before is often spelled with a C. Sen, t, o. Here we have an the most common way to spell it, is with an E, which is just fine right here because of the two consonants after it. I is also spelled with a short I right here just fine because of the two consonants after it. O at the end is often spelled with just a single O. Sentinto. This sen is a common Latin root in a lot of real world words like century, and it's spelled C-E-N. Okay, on your own, please write or spell the word cell tempo. You might be tempted to write 2 L's in cell tempo because the word cell is spelled with 2 L's, but really figure out, might have been a big juicy hint, if it really needs 2 L's or not. Cell tempo. S-E-L-T-E-M-P-O. Cell tempo. Cell te. Right here. I probably didn't say that very well. But these two sounds, this and this are the same. Cell te po. Cell tempo. Good, Carla. Nice, Joseph. Good. Cell tempo. All right, so our consonants are S, which is often spelled with a C if there is an E after it, especially if it's a C-E-L here. Cell, T, E, M, P, O. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat so I can answer them for everybody. Is usually spelled, with a short E. That's our most common, so that's the one that we try first. And there are already 2 consonants after it. So it says its short sound right here just fine. We don't have to double the L. If it was celempo and there was another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, then we would have to double that L. But since there was a T here, nothing needed to be done because there are already 2 consonants. And then I just wish I had better writing for you. I need to take my own handwriting course. And then here we have an E, which is spelled with an E just fine because of the tap 2 rule. And then O at the end is often spelled with a single O. Cell tempo. Good, Monica. Nice, Teresa. Yeah. So I don't even think there's going to be there might be an S at the end of a word, but there's not going to be any S's at the beginning of these words. It's always going to be CE. If that's what you hear and you're wondering if it's SE, it's not. It's going to be CE, okay? Next, let's try on your own. Now think about this one. No hints from me. I'm going to give this all to you. Crawtompi. Crawtompi. Mouth is closed. P-E. Crawtompi. Take your time. Crawtompi. Crawtompi. The most common spelling for ah is O. Cratompi. I hear two short O sounds in there. Cratompi. Nice. Yay, that must feel so good to understand how to spell these words that you've never seen or heard of in your life, but you knew how to spell them because of the information that you're learning. Cratompi. My mouth is closed right here. Okay. Consonants. K, ah, t, ah, p, e. Vowels. Ah. Can an O say ah here? No. Because there's a vowel one or two doors away that would force it to say O. If I want an ah, that needs two consonants after it. If there's not two, make two. Ah right here is just fine because of those two consonants that are already after it. E at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y. Cratompi. Let me give you another one that's similar to that. Claw-fosty. Claw-fosty. Now don't spell claw like this. We're not spelling, oh my goodness, my drawing. We're not spelling the word claw, just the sound happens to be within this longer word. Claw-fosty, claw-fosty. K-O-A-F-A-S-T-E. And it's not frosty, there's no R. Claw-fosty. Isn't it exciting, Teresa? I know. It is so fun. This stuff, I tell you, you guys are going to be wordies like me. Claw-fosty. Nice. Whenever you hear ah in these, it's probably going to be a short O. Oh, so close, so close. Claw, fa. So it's going from the f to the ah. Fa, fa, not full. Fosty, fosty. Claw-fosty. Wow, you guys are really picking this up. So the consonants are k, o, a, f, a, s, t, e. A right here must have two consonants after it. If there's not two, make two. A right here already has two consonants after it, so it's brilliant. E at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y. A lot of you got that right, or so close, only one letter off. That's got to make you feel good. You can spell Cratompi and Claw-fosty. If you asked anybody else to spell that, they would look at you like you're nuts. Like, what? Claw? What are we talking about? But for you, you're just like, okay, all right, let me get my pencil here. Let's dot these vowels. Let's figure it out. That just must feel so good to know how to spell these words that you've never seen before in your life. Claw-fosty. All right, so as a just quick recap, you learned that C has two sounds, hard and soft, not long and short. That is only for vowels. Vowels don't have hard and soft. That's only for C and G. The hard sound for C is it's kicking against the back of the throat. K. The soft sound is S. It only says it's soft sound if one of the next three letters is an E, I, or Y. Otherwise, it will always make its hard sound and say K. That knowledge is now yours to keep forever. Wrap it up and tie it in a little bow. It's got to feel good to know all of that. All right, my friends, I will see you on Wednesday when we're going to do the same thing with G. Bye, everybody.